Friends, as you may be aware, that financial modeling is one skill set where I have built my entire career. And that has been quite serendipity that I landed in this profile of financial modeling during my days at ITC, where as an industrial trainee, one of my bosses suddenly gave me this capital budgeting sheet of a hotel project. And since I started liking that entire complex analysis, my first job in Tata Steel also post qualification ended up being in financial planning, where I would make financial models for Tata Steel Europe, Thailand, Nat Steel Singapore, India, then consolidate this. And then subsequently, my next jobs as well at ABG, where I would do financial modeling for M&A targets, for coal mining projects, iron ore projects. So, what exactly is financial modeling and why is that important? Prima facie, financial modeling is also Excel, spreadsheets, as you would say. And it is nothing but costing extrapolated into the future. And so, something like a standard cost sheet, which in the past people make in the form of CMA data for banks. But financial modeling is far more dynamic because it helps you take decisions. Should I invest in that target? At what valuation? What are the risks? And if there are risks, how do I model that? That my cash flows, I cannot predict that they are going to be $100 million. But I can predict that between the optimistic and the pessimistic scenario, the cash flows are going to range from $80 million to $140 million with this probability. And therefore, the financial model helps the promoter or the business owner to take the decision. Now, if you invest in skills of financial modeling, you can get a host of jobs. You can get absorbed in corporate strategy, because most of the decisions related to long-term financial modeling for infrastructure projects, for M&A targets, for mining projects, for steel, for power, for oil and gas, everywhere, wherever you invest the promoter's money initially with returns spread over a period of, let's say, 50 years, you are investing in a highway where you'll collect toll. Now, how do you model that? You need a financial model for that. That do I get adequate returns as per this particular clause of the tender document? Therefore, financial modeling over a period of time will not be just advanced Excel, but will entail an extensive understanding of the business. When if you are into investment banking, M&A, or when your client goes for IPOs, how do you value that IPO? So recently you had this IPO of IRCTC. The investment bankers goofed it big time because the money which the government got was 50% of what it could have got had they correctly valued that stock. Because the stock opened at twice the IPO price. That was something which was discovered through the financial model. Therefore, financial modeling will be of intense use in investment banking, in IPO valuation, when companies are going for their rights issue, when they are raising long-term funds from the market. Similarly, in the startup space, how do you pitch your startup idea to prospective investors? You're going to showcase a growth stream. That investor will have to get the conviction that if he or she gives you, let's say, a check of $1 million, they are going to get an exit after 5 years, because your startup is going to increase, the valuation is going to leapfrog the startup into that unicorn zone. That is also done through a financial model, and I've been doing a lot of it for various startups, helping them document their growth aspirations in the form of concrete P&L, balance sheet and forecasted cash flows. Therefore, if you invest in the skill set of financial modeling, trust me, it helps you big time. Now, a lot of people, when I had launched my course on financial modeling, that e-learning course, talked about certification. That's a very shallow or a very myopic way of looking at it, because a certification helps, it becomes a talking point, it's there on your CV. But then imagine if that talking point was there on your CV, but it's not complemented by skill sets. That's even worse. So a lot of people will charge you through the nose and say we are going to charge 50,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees for a course in financial modeling, wherein financial modeling is something which only the basics can be taught to you through an e-learning course. Rest of it has to be learned on the field by actually working on those spreadsheets. With each project, with each transaction that you do, you're going to get better and better. And therefore, I would highly recommend that you could probably do my financial modeling course on eLearn Markets. For that, you might as well want to do the advanced MS Excel course, because that gives you that host of functions, that capability to do that data table and VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP and pivot and index and match, because financial modeling will be starting from a blank Excel spreadsheet and documenting, let's say, a $5 billion business over hundreds of rows and dozens of sheets and all interlinked. So you need to be very savvy in terms of your MS Excel skills as well. So that's my limited submission. Please, if you are thinking of a career in investment banking, in credit rating, in corporate strategy, in M&A, or in KPOs of a lot of MNCs which have set up shop in India, providing equity research support to their global counterparts, everywhere financial modeling will be an all-pervasive skill. Therefore, do invest in those skill sets. It's very important. Whether you do it through my course or someone else's course becomes secondary, but it's always a good skill to have in terms of real capabilities, not just, oh, I have it on my CV because I've got this certification for which I paid through my nose, and no, that no. Invest in skill sets. That's very important. All right. Bye bye. Thank you.